The question we have been asked to answer is, what kind of media institution would distribute our local radio news broadcast and why? There is emphasis on the words institution and distribution. Therefore, we need to first understand what institution means. Here we have some examples of well-known institutions. Apple specializes in technology. Activision is an institution for video games. Our popular institutions for movies are Warner Bros. And sportwears like Nike. However, these institutions are not related to radio. Radio institutions are companies that distribute radio news to the appropriate proximities. BBC is a conglomerate within the radio industry that owns 40 local radio news stations in the areas of England, another 6 stations in the national regions. The BBC also has 10 radio stations that serve the whole of the UK, which specialise in local radio and providing the news. Nearly 35 million people listen to BBC Radio each week. The BBC also specialise in providing all sorts of information for listeners, whatever their interest.
Alright. Celador is a UK televisions production company that owns 20 UK radio stations. The company owns 2 stations. The first one is Sam FM station and the other is Fire Radio. In addition, Celador also owns one network called the Breeze Network, which overall has 16 local radio stations.
Global Radio is part of Global Group. Due to the advancement of technology, Global has now taken onto the digital platform. There are 3 digital radio stations, Chill, The Arrow and Smooth Extra, that all specialise in music. However, there are former stations that are popular in the UK. Some examples of these stations are Capital FM and Heart Radio.
Bauer is a European-based media company that is located in Germany. Overall, Bauer owns 50 radio and TV stations, along with over 600 magazines. There are 2 divisions of Bauer Media, Bauer City and Bauer National. Bauer Radio specialises in local news broadcasts on FM and AM radio, and music genre services that is delivered nationally through the digital platform. Those were 4 of the biggest radio institutions. However, we need to first require a radio license in order to publish any of our news from our radio station. This is where Ofcom gets involved.
Ofcom is the communications regulator that's based in the UK. The company regulates not only TV but also radio sectors and mobile services. The radio spectrum is used by everyone from mobile phone companies to broadcasters. These are most effective in ways which Ofcom distributes radio. More importantly, Ofcom distributes radio licenses.
Ofcom does not distribute BBC TV license fees, but they do distribute radio licenses, which is what we need. The license that best fits our team is a community radio license because community radio provides a voice to the local area, which is Kilburn. In order to receive a community radio licensing, we need to apply as an applicant to Ofcom. By submitting an application and pass the Ofcom test, specifically the group wants a license in the media wave, which is the AM band, because it will be easier for the group to reach target audience around Kilburn, as we want the audience to tune in when they are going to work or school. Furthermore, there will be less competition from other FM broadcasters if we have an AM band.
Reuters is an international news agency that distributes news to local news stations. Over 60,000 people and journalists work for them to find different news stories. They transmit the news to local radio stations that do not have the resources to go out and find the stories themselves. Using computer algorithm, which determines the content the local station will receive, depending on the style of the local radio station transmits the news. Finally, the news is transmitted through physical transmitters to the people's homes and devices. Reuters is very good at what they do, and they do it to gain money as there is money in news, but they also do it so that the local radio stations can receive the news, meaning that the local area will be informed not only about their local area, but also news around the world that may affect the UK.
After applying to be an applicant from Ofcom and passing the Ofcom test in order to have the radio license, we still need to find out which radio institution will distribute our local radio news bulletin. We have decided that after looking at the 4 main radio institutions, that Bauer is the institution that will be more suited to our needs, because Bauer specializes in local news broadcasts, both AM and FM. And since we are applying for an AM ban from Ofcom, it makes the most sense to go for Bauer compared to other institutions that specialize in either FM broadcasts or more music-based.